Joining us here at the Metro 29 Diner in person is our good friend Tom Davis, former congressman, a man who knows a lot about politics in the Commonwealth of Virginia, and there's so much to talk to you about. Look, I mean, a lot of people are watching very closely this race with Ed Gillespie, and he's going to be here in a few minutes. It's a big gap to close. Tell us your assessment of that race.
Well, look, this is a competitive race. It's a competitive state. This state has a slight blue tinge, though, if you've looked at it over the years. And the Republicans' problem over the last decade has been they haven't recognized that almost a third of the state now is more like New Jersey than it is the rest of the state. And as a result of that, you've got to break into that Northern Virginia vote, and they've been singularly unsuccessful. Ed is working it hard, but you can close. You look at polling around the rest of the state, and he's getting the Republican vote. But you get up here, it's been very tough, and so that's where
because there aren't as many Republican votes as there used to be. That's right.
Well, there are a lot of swing voters up here. Look, people are not enamored with the Democrats.
You know, they all came from Maryland.
They came from all over the world.
Yeah, that's true.
They came from all over the world.
Even though it's looking like New Jersey, thankfully they dress better here than in New Jersey.
That's a low bar.
Yeah, it's true. but here's what's frustrating, I think, for a lot of conservatives. And you're right, Tom Davis. You're right that the challenge is getting those voters. The problem is all of the grassroots conservatives, the ones who were very passionate for Ken Cuccinelli in the governor's race last year, they were all told, listen, we got to get together. Ed Gillespie's the man. He can bridge that gap. Ed Gillespie can get all of those moderate voters, those independent voters. So the conservatives said, fine, okay, he's our nominee. We'll back Ed Gillespie. Let's go. Where are they?
Well, a couple things. First of all, you've got to remember we've had two elections in this state, now presidential elections, that the Democrats have carried. Prior to this, the Democrats hadn't carried a statewide race since 1964. The new demographic is even when the Republicans are united, they need a little boost. In the old days, you just unite the party, you win.
And you win.
But, okay, let's talk about that boost, both in the Commonwealth and beyond. Because we keep hearing the talk that the president is very, very unpopular.
But Ed has bridged the gap within the party.
Yeah, I will say that's true. Yeah, so we got this president who's not very popular. Many people say he's the anchor president. He's dragging down all Democratic tickets across the country. Is there, because of the unpopularity of this sitting president, is there going to be a Republican wave that would perhaps allow the Republicans to claim the Senate?
I don't think there's any question. I mean, Democrats are running away from Obama in many of these states. They're emphasizing their independence. Allison Grimes.
Yeah, we ran that clip a minute ago.
She won't even say who she voted for. Now, Obama only carried 4 counties in that state the last time. So, there's no question he's a drag on the ticket, that this will be a Republican midterm. They'll pick up significant numbers of seats in the Senate. They'll pick up some seats in the House. There just aren't that many left to pick up. These seats have been so gerrymandered.
Our guest is Tom Davis, former Virginia congressman, and when you did your patriotic duty in serving in the House of Representatives, you were the chairman of the House Oversight Committee. I've got to ask you, as you look at this House Oversight Committee, led by Chairman Darrell Issa, and of course fervently participated by Trey Gowdy there, who was a clarion voice, I think, on that committee. What's your assessment of how this administration and this Department of Justice is cooperating with that committee?
Well, I've told them, you've got to learn in this business. There's a rhythm to governing, and you've got to be able to take a punch and fight them one day and come back and govern the next, and they've never found that rhythm.
They being the administration?
The administration, to do that. We were able to find that rhythm. With Bill Clinton, you could punch him out one day, vote for impeachment, he'd sign your bills the next, because they knew they needed you to govern on some issues, and it really never got that personal, but they were about governance. I think a lot of things have changed during that time on a macro sense, not just the personalities involved. But they certainly don't have a governance rhythm right now.
If you were sitting in your former chair there that Darrell Issa now occupies, would you be doing things any differently?
Well, I think Darrell would do things differently. I mean, every day you come back and you say, will I do something differently at this point? I think we always went by the book. And we try not to get ahead of ourselves in investigations.
But have you ever seen an administration that was more obstructive in their unwillingness to hand over documents?
Yeah, we're getting documents from FOIA requests from third party they won't give to Congress.
That's right. Congress can't get the documents that other people who have filed lawsuits
The
can
Judicial
get.
Watch
That's
gets,
right.
yeah.
No, that's right. On the FOIA request. So, no, they're stonewalling them, and as long as they appear to have public opinion and press with them, they're going to continue to do that.
Well, I need to ask you because you also serve in another capacity currently, and that's over at MWA, the Airport Authority, and you got the Silver Line that's been up and running. How's that going?
It's going great. We opened Phase 1 out to Wheelie Avenue. We have fully funded now Phase 2, which will go 2 stops past Dulles Airport.
Right.
How much is that going to cost you? It's fully funded?
Well, the whole title will be over $4 billion. It'll be
All right, how much is it going to really cost, though?
Well, no, I think we've got it funded. We've got a federal loan guarantee for on 2-part. It's on track at this point.
Right.
And has it been as successful as far as volume of traffic?
Yeah, ridership's been above projections.
Really?
Look,
I know people who actually ride the Silver Line just for the day. That's their daily activity. On the weekends, they want to go up to Reston. It's amazing.
Well, you can go to Tyson's. I mean, the key is you can go to Tyson's now. Having rail at Tyson's was very, very important.
Yeah.
This was really never about rail to Dulles. This was about rail out that corridor. And as you take this is one of the most affluent corridors, but there's just no more pavement to get people in the morning. The toll road gets stopped up, and rail had to be a component of the transportation systems there.
Have you noticed, though, that because of people now deciding to drive into Tyson's or drive into Reston and then hop on the Silver Line for their commute, has that changed the traffic patterns there at the Beltway? Has it made Tyson's Corner worse?
It can be pretty bad sometimes.
I know. Making it worse is even, yeah.
And look, you're going to get higher subsidies from the county now paying to Metro. You're going to get higher densities out that corridor. You're going to get higher tolls because that's basically how it's financed. There's a trade-off on everything. I think we look back in 20 years or now, we're going to be glad we built this system.
All right, now the most important question: who should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Well, I'm going to go with Weezer.
Weezer?
Yeah, they're one of the singers.
Well,
right
that's
from
it.
here. Yeah, Sweater, just like Buddy Holly. They had some good.
Wasn't
good
that
songs.
George Jefferson's wife?
No,
Weezer?
that was Wheezy.
Oh, Wheezy.
Wheezy.
I'm
Close,
sorry.
Close. I put her in the Hall of Fame, too. But
All right, Congressman Tom Davis, thanks for joining us here
Thanks for having
at the
me.
Metro 29.